All right, everybody. Welcome to another Wednesday AMA session. It's your host, Joe Troyer. I'm excited to be hanging out with you guys today and each and every Wednesday. Today, we're going to continue along the path like we have been for the last week or two, and we're going to be doing some more site reviews today. So site reviews have been a hot topic. If you'd like me to do a site review for you, or you have a question for the AMA, all you got to do is go over to digitaltriggers.io/AMA. You can register for the AMA, and after you register, you'll be able to ask a question there as well. And if I were you, just a little tip, save that link, right? And when you got a question, right, when you're watching somebody else's training and they leave out a huge gap and you don't understand what the heck that person's talking about, you know where you guys can get the answer, right? Right from me at Joe Troyer. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and kick things off. Last week, we were right in the middle of me reviewing a CBD website and me doing an audit on the CBD e-com site, and my audio literally cut out, completely went black, and it was literally like time for us to end the webinar anyway. And so I had literally no option. I even tried my calling in over the phone, and it didn't work either. So we're going to pick back up that CBD website audit. We're going to hit it from the beginning. Luckily, I still have my notes from last time, so it shouldn't take quite as long as it did last week. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off. And this was from Tom Pfeiffer. And the URL, if you guys want to follow along, is healthsmartcbd.com. All right, so first and foremost, when I land on the site, I like that it's nice and clean in the header. You guys will find me picking on people right and left when they give me site reviews with their navigation and with their headers. They just got way too much shit going on. So the header is really good. The only thing that I would suggest changing is probably just dropping, right, like one of these from the header, right? Like you got shop here, but you got a cart over here. So maybe you just want to drop the cart, right? But you want to try to keep the header. For me, I try to keep the header under 5 items in the navigation, right? 4 to 5 items in the top mouth. So I always like a good logo, top left, top right, your navigation. If it's a local site, I like a phone number with a call to action. Obviously here we got a e-com site, so we got shop here, and it goes right into the categories. So I think that this is absolutely essential. I think this is good. So looking at then the sliders, I think that your goal with the sliders should be to segment your traffic, right? So we got to figure out how to take these people and get them to self-identify. Okay, so what we almost want to do is almost kind of repeat, or I would if I were you, right, these categories, and get them to raise their hand and say, I'm interested in, right, a topic, right? I'm interested in my pet. I'm interested in myself. I'm interested in, right? And then take it to the next step. Because if not, we're just showing the user at the end of the day so many options. Okay, so I'm but I'm familiar with CBD. I have family members that take CBD that it's done wonders for. They've been able to come off of medications, right? They've been people that have problems with anxiety. CBD has been literally a godsend for them. So I consider myself to know something about it, but as I look on this site, there's things that like I don't even understand, right? There's lingo that I don't understand. There's product knowledge about CBD that I don't get, and that I would assume probably 90% of your customers don't either. So I think that you need to be speaking to somebody in kind of a 6th grade, 7th grade kind of reading level, and you need to be very, very careful about industry jargon, right? Like I don't even know what a tincture is. Who knows what a tincture is? Let me know in the chat. If you know what it is, let me know. That would be great. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I mean, I know what CBD oil is, right? Great. So if I was looking for CBD, I could go here, but this says tincture. I have no freaking idea, right? Here, now we're talking about CBD vape cartridges versus just the CBD drops, right? And then lastly, we have basically the CBD hemp flower. So, I mean, this is basically medical grade marijuana, but without THC. So this is great, but when I was here last time, I stumbled upon this learn section. And if I were you, I think I'd really be driving a lot more traffic to this learn section. And you might have to stage the content a little bit differently. But there's a page on here, I don't know where it is, that basically walks people through and talks about the different types of CBD and what they're good for, and then suggests a product. If you can do that, your conversions are going to be a lot higher, right? You have anxiety and you don't vape, right? You would prefer drops. Okay, great. Here's the right product for you, right? And then it shoots them straight to the CBD tincture page, right? Like that would crush it from a conversion standpoint. Even the milligrams, right? When I get in here and I'm shopping, I think that one of the biggest questions that people have about CBD is how many milligrams should I get, right? So some type of dosing chart, I think would be uber helpful. You know, if you weigh this much, you have these types of symptoms, whatever you can do, right? Explain the dosing. Okay, and I know that somebody could take 250 milligrams or they could take 1,000, right? The dosing is just different, right? You take different amounts. Okay, but at the end of the day, you got to get rid of the product confusion. And I think the product confusion in CBD is what's a tincture, what's an oil, what's vape, right? What's the flower, right? Which is the right product? So we got to take some of the education out of it. CBD gel caps, right? I mean, at the end of the day, I would assume that 90% of your market isn't going CBD salve. They aren't going to be able to say, this is what I should get, right? How do I know that? Because my family's always talking about it, right? One family member took it, they did well with it, so then they're talking to somebody else. And they're always like, well, what's the dosage and what kind do you take and how many milligrams and how often do you take it per day? And do you do this type or do you do that type? Right. And so at the end of the day, you got to educate the consumer. And I think like the choose your path or the pick your path, right? So that you can help diagnose and tell them what to do or what to take. I think that's going to do the best for a site like this. Okay. All right. So from an SEO perspective, then I'm just going to take a look at the site kind of in broad strokes since we already hit conversion. I'm going to make a note here. So drop one item from the nav. All right, so drop one item from the top nav, a chooser or a guide for what to buy. Don't assume that your consumer knows, right, what to buy. Then we're just gonna take a look at it from kind of an SEO organic perspective, see if there's anything that jumps out to me. So this is in Miami Beach. That's funny. Basically my neighbor, not quite 2 hours south, but anyways, all right, so you must be in a virtual office because what comes up is TD Bank or WeWork co-working space. I would see if you could get a GMB listing confirmed. It might be a little tough being in WeWork, but you should be able to get a suite or some type of mailing address that you can use. So the reason I like doing Google My Business is that when somebody looks up your address, they look up your phone number, they look up your brand name. It just helps control the brand, right? you're going to be able to see something like this saying TD Bank, or saying the name of your business, Health Smart CBD, instead of TD Bank, right? With all the information that you need. Okay. Then once you do that, you can very easily, right, go do citations, and you can do the same thing. So you can control the whole first page for your brand. Okay, this becomes important. A lot of people skip this step. Okay, these are easy SEO backlinks, number one. Okay, lots of relevancy, lots of strengths in terms of linking domains and authoritative domains linking to you, which is great. Both good social signals, but also this helps control your reputation. Okay, what happens if in 3 months from now, in 6 months from now, in 12 months from now, right? If somebody buys your product and they hate it, right? And they go cause a scene and they go destroy you everywhere. They write on Ripoff Report, they write on all these sites that you guys suck, right? That you're not very good, that you didn't honor this, you didn't do that, or whatever their bad experience was, right? If you control your reputation, it's going to be a lot easier to keep that under wraps, right? Than if you don't have anything. Okay, so protect your reputation. Go get on all the top citation sites. Go get on Google My Business. Work on getting reviews there. Work on building a 5-star reputation. So when somebody smashes you with a 1, right, like you don't even feel it. So give me a 1 if that makes sense, right? Preemptively, go build your 5-star reputation, right? And build that fortress. So if you ever have a problem in the future, you're not starting from scratch. Like I've literally, guys, seen this quite literally kill a business because they didn't take these steps, right? They got 2 or 3 bad reviews very quickly. All of their business was coming from Google Maps, and they went from a 4.5 star, right, to a 2.5 or a 3 star, right? When there's other people in the maps with 4 stars, right? And basically overnight, everybody starts going to the competition instead of them. Quite literally can take your business out at the knees. From an SEO perspective, not much going on here. This is the site with all the traffic. Seems to be a big content site, basically, directory site around dispensaries and strains. Looks like we got some stuff popping up in my neck of the woods here. So let's see here. Earth, Florida, and West Palm Beach. Growing healthy in West Palm Beach. Okay. So at the end of the day, though, not really ranking for much. I'm assuming this is a new site. So again, citations is really going to help. So we're going to put that in here. So we're going to say set up GMB listing, citations. Okay, and then at the end of the day, from an SEO perspective, you should just kind of have all your socials set up. It looks like it was all set up and linked. Let me just confirm real quick, though. Definitely fix this. So you got the post title here, right? And then right underneath it, you got the post title again. So a little issue with the blog formatting, probably the template there that you'll be able to fix pretty easily. Social sites are connected. They look like they're all set up, so that's good. Okay, so that looks fantastic. From an SEO perspective, the next thing I would do is start doing outreach. Okay, so you should be doing outreach for either guest posts, right, or sponsor posts. Okay, who knows the difference? Give me a 1 if you know the difference. Give me a 2 if you want me to go into the detail. Okay, give me a 1 if you know the difference. Give me a 2 if you want me to go into detail here. All right, so we got lots of ones, but also quite a few too. So if you do guest posts, you're basically going to be writing a piece of content and pitching it to the writer or to the blogger, whoever owns the site. So guest posts are great because they're free, right? The arrangement is just like, here's an amazing piece of content. Will you publish it on your site? Let me know. That's the pitch, right? Sponsor posts is, here's an amazing piece of content, or I'd like to write an amazing piece of content for you. And would you publish it? If so, how much would it cost? So sponsor posts, you're just basically bribing somebody to do a guest post, right? That's all that it is at the end of the day. The other difference though, or the key for me is you don't have to be near as good with the content or the quality of the content. Why? Because you're paying them, right? So you're able to get away with a lot more. Does that make sense? Give me a 1 if that makes sense. So they're not going to look at your content and go, yeah, this was an okay article. You know what, Joe? I don't know, man. I'm not going to publish this on the site. They're going to go, yeah, this was an okay article and Joe's paying me. So yeah, I'm definitely posting it on the site. Right? So at the end of the day, I do a lot more sponsored posts than I do guest posts. Okay? I'm not saying that, you can't go the other route. Okay? I'm just telling you what I do. Okay? When I hit that blogger back up again and say, hey, I got a new client or I got a new site or I got something else I need a link to, right? When I have done a sponsored post, typically they're going to respond back a whole lot faster than if I just reach out again with another guest post opportunity. Okay. Somebody says, do you only send one guest post to one site or do you reuse the post on several sites? I always send unique content, Alex. At the end of the day, you can have a writer rewrite a piece of content for you for like $10, right? So why would you just keep reusing it? If the blogger goes and looks, they're probably not going to be too happy that you did that to them, right? They're probably not going to like it, and then they're probably going to be upset and probably not want to work with you. So I'm not going to blow the relationship for $10. All right. So next up, we got a review of a certified public accountant website. So let me get this straight. We go from marijuana and CBD to a certified public accountant. All right. Not a problem, not a problem. So in this website Audit, we are going to focus, based upon what I've seen, mostly on user interface, user conversions, and we'll do a little quick SEO audit as well. So thank you for submitting this site to me. But we got some issues that we got to take care of. This thing is not conversion friendly at all. Not conversion friendly at all. So, man, this is a big pill to swallow. No problem. We got this. First off, I'm going to take a look at what platform this is using. It doesn't even look like WordPress. I don't know, maybe like Joomla or something else. Looks a little dated, quite a bit dated. Frankly, it looks like, like a front page type of template or something like that. Yeah, so it doesn't look like, yeah, there's no WP content folder or anything like that. So it doesn't seem like this is WordPress. Yeah. Whoop, if I could type wp-login.php. Yeah, it doesn't exist either. All right, so I would highly suggest moving first and foremost to a platform that you're going to be able to find some more talent on. So WordPress is going to be my suggestion. Before you just move the whole site to WordPress, if I were you, I would find a design that you guys like. I would find a template that you guys like, and I would use that to start reshaping this site. So in terms of SEO, you got an issue here though too, because your pages are .php, right? So arlington.php, you got obviously lots of PHP pages. So I'm going to make sure that .php is the only other site extension, or the only other URL extension. Yeah. All right. So what I would do then, as part of this build out, is I would do 3-1 redirects, and I do them via, with a wildcard. So basically anything that ended in .php automatically gets redirected to the non.php version, right? So, and this is going to be dynamic. So for example, /arlington.php would get redirected to /arlington. So you should just need to write this one time and do this 301 redirect one time, and it should automatically take care of moving from .php right into WordPress. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Let me know in the chat. Jamie says, check out WP Analyzer. Cool site, or cool tech to be able to see behind a site and what they're using. Yeah, the problem is they're not even using WordPress. All right, so step one, what I would do is actually go grab all of these pages. So quick tune up, services, cache management, right? And I'm gonna grab the body content, okay? And I'm gonna go put it in WordPress. Into WordPress pages specifically, right? So this becomes a page, right? Because the rest of the guts, right? The header, the sidebar, right? The footer, that's all going to be controlled through the theme, right? So if you get a VA to go do this, right? And then pull over the navigation, let's see, is the footer different than the header? So home, about, services, newsletter, guides, tax center. Yeah. So we're really gonna need two. So we're gonna say header and footer. So this is all in this move to WordPress. Okay. When we install WordPress as well, we need to make sure we turn off indexing with WordPress. So while we're in staging, before the site goes live, we don't want Google to go crawl the new site, right, and freak out. So I'd have this on some type of staging environment, either on a separate domain or a subdomain or something like that. And we want to keep the indexing off. We don't want to trip Google up. So we'd rebuild all of this, and then we're going to pick a theme and finalize the design. So you're always going to have a home page. Looks like they only really have two templates that I've seen so far, right? Subpage and homepage. Well, featured articles, get a free quote today. Yeah, I mean, I would separate it into two. All right. So that is all, guys, kind of WordPress move, okay? Let's tidy this up, and then we'll kind of go on to the next topic. So I'm going to do this, and then we're going to, once this is all done and approved, we're going to push the site live, and we're going to turn back on indexing of WordPress. So, and this can all be done inside of WordPress settings. So I think it's settings and reading, but you can just quickly Google that. All right, so that's the WordPress stuff. Next up, let's talk about kind of the conversion elements, and then we can jump into some minor SEO, kind of an SEO feedback. So from a conversion standpoint, I understand that this is a multi-location business. On the homepage, I wouldn't do that personally. I'd rather see a 1-800 number on the homepage, right? And then once somebody calls that, it's like press 1 for Arlington, press 2 for Frisco, right? I'd rather see that on the homepage. So basically just going to say here, one phone number on homepage, 1-800, and then an IVR to individual locations, right? Press 1 for, press 2 for, okay. So, again, I think at the end of the day, you need to get people to self-identify with what they need help with, right? When I'm looking at this site right now, you got tax prep, tax planning, tax problems, you got business, I'm sure you got personal then, right? You got like accounting with QuickBooks, right? You got estate planning. So if I were you, I would try to get the user to, again, self-identify what they need help with. Okay, because there's just too much here, right? Financial services for individuals. You got personal financial planning, retirement planning, estate planning, business services. I mean, look at these business services, right? Another way to do this, you're either going to want to put, I would either put like a, build out like a chooser like we've talked about. We just talked about on the CBD. Chooser / quiz, right? Where they kind of self-diagnose or select their path. Or you could make a very blanket offer, right? And if you make a blanket offer, it's going to have to be good. It's going to be like get a free analysis, right? That's this dollar amount. And inside, we're going to uncover, right, at least $10,000 in savings for your business a year, right? How you can save money on your taxes, how you can do this, how you can do that, right? And you'd have a blanket offer for business and for personal, right? So you'd have one for business, one for personal. It would kind of be a wrap-up audit to try to get people or to help diagnose themselves, right? Like you should do this, you should do this, you should do this, and you should do this, right? But that will help get people into your services. Okay, so either a chooser where they do it themselves, okay, or some type of blanket consultation type of offer. So basically in that consultation type of offer, you're just helping them make that decision for them. And this one, you're just letting them do it via the website. Questions so far? going to try to make these notes a little more concise. Okay, so let's dupe this out, duplicate, and then let's talk about SEO. All right, so SEO feedback. So talked about WordPress, we talked about conversion elements. Now let's talk about SEO, the good stuff, my favorite stuff. First and foremost, let's take a look at the title tags. Got a lot of pages in here. All right, so one thing that concerns me is your pages look like they're very close to being duplicate. So what I mean by that is, if you look at what's unique, right, title to title and description to description, most of it is 95% identical, right? So for example, this one, okay, like what's even different? This probably has, right, the rest of that title in it too. So it's a pure duplicate title tag, right? Then when you look at the description, take a look at our cash flow management page. Hinckley Cook PC is a full service tax accounting and business consulting firm located in Arlington, Texas. Take a look at so the only thing that changes in this whole description is recommended books and cash flow management, right? That's the only thing that's unique. So you're playing with this recipe kind of for disaster. So you want to work on a title tag and a description tag where you can get these to be more unique. Okay, they're just too similar. You're going to wind up getting yourself in trouble. So title tag and meta tag URL are so rewrite / rework to be less similar. Okay, so how do you do that? Well, you could easily write 3 to 4 templates and then switch up the variations, right? So that more than just the page name changed. Okay, you could easily have 3 or you could have 4 variations, and now you're not near as similar as the other pages on the site. Okay, so just a little tip there. Let's take a look. Arlington. Accounting firm. All right. Okay, so not on the first page. Let's say Frisco. Texas accounting firm. Hinckley. All right, so I don't see either. Dig a little further. There we are, second page. Okay. Look at this. Their URL has $mobile equals 0 as the indexed URL for their homepage. Ouch. All right, so page 2. Let's see if there are other page for Arlington versus Frisco is on page 2 as well. Yeah, so you're on page 2. So this title tag and meta rewrite would be good. You're on page 2 right now. So I would do a citation audit. You don't have a ton of work to do to get to first page. I would recommend a citation audit. And basically what you want to do is grab your competitors' citations and basically reference against the citations that you have and go get the ones you don't. Okay. Then let's take a look at your review count. That's strange. Just by typing in this phone number that's listed for this one listing, the GMB should be popping up. So which number did I copy? 1040. So Arlington. So the Arlington location should be popping up right now, and it's not. So let's do a search. So we uncovered something interesting. So let's make a note of it, and then we'll dig in a little further. Let's do a search for the brand. Hinckley Cook. And I can't for the life of me spell this correctly. Hinckley Cook PC. And we're going to say Texas. So I'm just trying to get GMB to pop. Here we go, right here. So at the end of the day, you got both listings inside of GMB. This one links to Frisco. This one links to the homepage. So I would definitely have this one linked to the page, right? That is relevant for it, right? The location page. So GMB. So which one was that? That was Arlington. So now that we got that, just want to do HINCKLEY plus. So I'm just going to do a search for Hinckley plus this phone number and see what we find. So we're going to say, we'll say not including their own site. It's weird. Okay, here we go. 159. It's actually quite a bit. So kind of strange though that it's not popping. So I would definitely get some more reviews on this location. So at least I would say try to match this other one. So Arlington needs 11 reviews. Okay, so then the only thing we didn't look at is in GMB, kind of where this thing's ranking. So let's do a search for Frisco, Texas, accounting firm, and then let's specifically look at GMB and how they're ranking. Google loves me. All right, so yeah, 16 reviews. You probably want to pop probably like up to 20 or so reviews in the next, I would say 60 days, kind of overall lift the account so that you kind of make everybody else shadow you in terms of your number of reviews. I don't see it ranking at all. Hinckley. Did I miss it, guys? Howard Tiano says, how do we get our Google ad in the 3-pack? It's just part of a Google Ads campaign. Unfortunately, Howard, you can't directly say, like, I want to target Google Maps specifically and only Google Maps, and here's what keywords I want it to fire on. It doesn't work at all like that. Like, you basically have little to no, you have basically no control over it. So I don't see it ranking here. Let's look in Arlington. Hinckley, Cook, PC. So Arlington, man, you could probably get in the top 3 in the next 60 days, no problem. And the reason I say that is you're 1, 2, 3, listing number 6, right, with 0 reviews. Take a look at. Sorry, I wanted to see kind of how many citations or how many pages out there are talking about Arlington. And I don't know why this doesn't want to work right. Anyway, it doesn't look like there's many citations, is kind of what I was getting at for the Arlington location. So citation audit should be good too. So at the end of the day, there you go. You got my WordPress site move feedback. And guys, that should go for any site moves that you got to do. This is kind of the overall process that you got to go through. And then we went through the conversion elements. And finally, last but not least, the SEO feedback as well. So next up, we are going to be reviewing another crazy fun one, a funeral service website audit. So the good old local niches. So let's pull this up here. I'll try not to get too sad on you guys. Carl said I misspelled Hinckley. Yeah, I bet I did. I kept misspelling it over and over and over again. All right, so let's take a look at this thing here. So first and foremost, this is the company that built the website, I guess. Found it in the footer. You know, Google really loves when you can't see text on a page, so I don't know that I would do that. Not very user-friendly either. And that's not a crazy bad looking site, but this funeral service one ain't so great looking from a conversion standpoint. So let's do this. How do I do this? 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 All right. So this is for Joe Cowan. So I think this would probably be valuable for everybody. Kind of give you guys an understanding of what's worked well for me in terms of local landing pages from a design perspective or like kind of layout perspective, if you will. So I'll kind of just give you guys an outline that you guys can go and that you guys can follow. And this is, you know, these elements don't have to be followed exactly, right? But this is what has worked really well for me over time. So top left overall needs to be your logo, right? Should be obvious, right? Then top right needs to be the phone number. If this is, again, we're talking about local site. So if this is a local site truly, and the thing that we want people to do is to make a phone call, then somewhere around this phone number, you should have some type of offer or reason for people to call now. So what we've done in the past is kind of squeeze the phone number and made it a little bit smaller, right? And then on the top, right, in much smaller text, right, we've made some type of offer, right? So for example, one thing that's worked really well is like call now for 20% off, right? And having something like this and be a very contrasting color, right, to the actual phone number. So if the phone number was big and red, right, we'd do something in green so it would really freaking pop. You can also obviously come up with a much better offer than call now for 20% off. If you're working in the service industry, right? Let's say working with HVAC or appliance repair or things like that. An offer that works really, really well is no service call fee with repair. So you get paid the service call fee, or your client does, as long as the customer ends up getting it repaired. So you win either way. Either you're getting paid the service call fee, right, or they're waiving it if they actually get to do business with them past, right, that actual service call. So what I've done then in the past in the header, be careful with spacing, it can get a little tricky here. But what I've done in the past that's worked really well in the header is displayed some authority type of symbols. So 5 stars, right, with Google, 5 stars with Yelp, 5 stars with this, 5 stars with that, right? Put in something here that's an authority status. Okay, if you're gonna do a slider, or you're gonna have more than one offer, I would put that right here. And I know, guys, this is like the most beautiful freaking mock-up you guys have ever seen, right? So ideally on this slider, if you're gonna use a slider, you need to be thoughtful about the slider. And again, think of this like a chooser, right? What are the offers for the business? So let's give a real example here. So for a dentist, for example, what are some offers that we could have for a dentist? Guys, give me some feedback in the chat. What's an offer that we could have for a dentist, or that a dentist could have on their site? Okay, we need 3 of them, let's say. Teeth whitening. Yep. So one of the offers that we've done well with teeth whitening, in terms of an entry offer, is free teeth whitening with cleaning. Cleaning costs like $100, right, or whatever. What's another offer? Braces. Okay, so if they do something with braces, be like 0% financing on braces. Okay, next one. Let's go with something cosmetic, right? Because cosmetic is big ticket, right? Cosmetic is really big ticket. So save 10% on, so I know like Lumineers, which is, I forget what the old term. Lumineers are like the new teeth covering, right? I don't know of a better word than that. Yeah, implant. Yeah, or implant, or something like that. Okay, and then let's do one more. Okay, so these are all like elective things, okay, for the most part, right? But what's gonna draw the most patients is like a free exam. Man, I couldn't spell. X-ray and consultation. And we used to have a tagline for this that we used. Don't pay to find out what's wrong. So as you guys look at this list, what order would you put these in? Right? If it's a slider and we got 1, 2, 3, 4 offers, we're gonna do 1 offer per slider, right? What order would you put these in? Give me some feedback in the chat. I want you thinking. Yeah, so most of you guys are getting the start of it right. This one should be first. Why? Because most people call the dentist when? When do most people call the dentist? Give me some feedback, right? When do most people call the dentist? When you called the dentist last, why did you call? Was it for an elective procedure or did you call because something was wrong? Yeah, something was wrong, right? So this offer is going to get the majority of people, right? So then next, what I would do is probably go to this one, which is probably their highest ticket offer. Okay, then this is a good offer that kind of applies to everybody. So I would probably use this next. This isn't an exact science, folks, right? And then I would probably use this one last, right? So when they land on the site, this is what they're gonna see on this big slider is this first offer. Why? Because it portrays to the most people, okay? Okay, let's see. Carolyn says that she would have put teeth whitening first versus this one. It could definitely be as well, but definitely 100% you're going to want to put this one first. Okay. All right. So next up is this next area right here. Okay, and this is everything above the fold, right? The fold is where you got to scroll. Okay, so obviously we're just talking about desktop right now. Okay, but what I like to do is I like to separate this area into 3 boxes or 3 separate things. This has kind of changed over time. We've been playing with something in this 3rd box that's kind of that's new. It's been working really well. And guys, again, you can play with these designs and these elements, but this is kind of the core of what you want above the fold. So 1 right here, again, we want to portray authority. Okay, so this could be, this could be your reviews. This could be listings and links and graphics to other authority sites that you guys are on that have your reviews. This could be, better business logos. If it's, could be secure site. It could talk about SSL. These are just trust things, right? Trust factors. So I would say authority or trust. Okay, 2 then is something that's going to talk about why us or why this company. Okay, and last is going to be all about charity or the company's bigger vision. This is becoming more and more important, this 3rd one. At the end of the day, millennials as a buying segment are getting larger and larger, obviously. And they want to specifically see this third point. If there are 3 dentists all lined up that are essentially the same, right? Let's say the third one isn't even quite as good in terms of reviews, right? But they believe in a charity. They give back to a charity. They have a bigger vision, right? For every dollar that they get, 5% or 1% even goes back to charity. And here's what they're doing. Which dentist is going to win? Right? The one with the charity every single day. Okay, I believe that these 2 things are going to be getting more important and more important over time, right? The reason for people to choose you, your ethics, your morals, and what you believe in, right? And then you talking about, secondly, a charity or a bigger vision, right? Beyond just the business itself, I think is getting uber important in today's day and age. Millennials want to see that. That's what they believe in. Okay. And millennials are spending more money on the internet than anyone else, and way less time too. Okay. They're going to make split decisions very quickly. We need to appeal to them very quickly. So this is an overall layout that I would choose, okay, or that I would go by. This site, as you can see, looks nothing like that section. In the above the fold section, we got the name of the company, got a phone number. There is no offer, right? There is no easy to see phone number. I mean, it's in the top right, kind of where it belongs, right? But it just sticks out like everything else, right? Or it just blends in like everything else. Okay, here are their services. They have a why choose us. It's just not formatted very well, right? They have testimonials. It's just not formatted very well, right? So I would take a lot of this content. They actually do have a lot of content when you just look through here, right? What they don't have, right, is a great high converting site. So a lot of this stuff can just be repurposed. Next up, let's kind of take a look at this from an SEO perspective. I like to always just do a page count, see what's happening with the index too. So supposedly this site has roughly 1,300 results. Seems pretty crazy that they would have that many pages. I would assume that, yeah, so this is an empty page, so this isn't good. You would want to either get content on this or get rid of it and redirect it to the home page. This is probably why I would assume that there's so many pages, right? Because everybody has like a notice page, I guess, right? And so this is a memorial page for each and every person, right? So it talks about, links to the obituary, or gives that here. Maybe this is the obituary. Talks about the service details. So that would make sense, right? There's lots of URLs that have /notices in there. Let's see if we can get this to work. I haven't been able to get in URL to work very well lately. All right, here we go. So there's 40 pages that don't contain /notices in the URL structure. Must have just been misspelling or not putting it in quite correctly before. So 40 pages isn't bad. That sounds a little bit more normal. So it looks like, I don't see any like location pages, so they must only have this one location in San Francisco. So let's do a search for San Francisco funeral service. Dugan's funeral service. All right. So you're ranking #1, which is freaking fantastic. Unfortunately, I'm sure that you're not getting most of the business that's coming here. So the thing that I would do first and foremost, even before a website audit, is this, right? So 3 stars, 14 reviews is not good. So So you need to get that at least to, I would say, a 4.5 stars aggregate rating or average rating. And this can be super simple, right? Send a text message to clients, staff, right? Key relationships, business relationships, like vendors. Okay, and in that message, you're going to give a cry for help. And then you're going to give a short link to GMB review page. Okay, so the cry for help is going to be simple. I noticed we have some bad reviews on our Google profile, and I believe it's really affecting our business. Can you please take a second? I wouldn't even say please. Can you take a second and leave us a review? It would really help, right? And then give a short link to the review page, right? This coming from whoever owns or runs the funeral service, right? Out to all of, you know, some of the memorable client, staff, vendors, and other business relationships that they have. Okay, in 48 hours, 72 hours, right? 48 to 72 hours, this could be turned upside down, could have a 4.5+ aggregate. And now when somebody's looking at a funeral service in San Francisco from the internet, they're going to be the go-to, right? They're going to have more reviews than everybody else, and they're going to be 4.5 stars. They're going to get the traffic and the phone calls instead of everybody else. Okay, so that is going to be the biggie in terms of getting more calls right here and right now. So guys, that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed yet another Wednesday AMA session. Guys, these are fun. This is one of my favorite days of the week. Wednesdays rolling around. Even yesterday, I had a hell of a day, and I'm just thinking, yeah, at least tomorrow, right? I get to take it easy. I get to be able to jump on this webinar, get to hang out with each and every one of you guys, right? It's something that I really look forward to. But the biggest question that I get each and every day in support and even on the YouTube channel is, where's the replay? The replay automatically goes up on Thursdays at 9 a.m. Eastern. Okay, so hit the notification bell and subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you guys will get each and every one of the videos that we're dropping. And literally, quite literally, every single day at 9 a.m. Eastern, we're dropping new content on the blog and on the YouTube channel for you guys. And last but not least, if you guys have a question, you guys want me to do a site review for you or for one of your clients, just go to digitaltriggers.io/AMA. Make sure that you guys are registered. And on the second step, it will actually give you guys a link to go submit your own question. Little tip here, I would highly suggest that you guys bookmark that URL. So whenever you guys have a question, right, you guys can skip the registration step and just go ask a question right there. So I hope you guys have a freaking fantastic week, and I will see you guys next Wednesday on the AMA.